You are listening to the Gaming Cube podcast with me, your co-host Simon Halliday, and the main host, of course, Thomas Dallard.
Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another edition of the Gaming Cube podcast. This is now episode 15. I'm your host Tom Dallard, and it will only be me today. I've got no guests here, so it's just me going solo. I haven't done one of these solo broadcasts, well I should say broadcasts, solo podcast episodes by myself, so it's kind of nice to do one by myself for a change. So, like I said, let's get straight into this. And today, we're going to be talking about, now I talked about this on the very first episode, and the second one, I believe, on the original, but I thought it'd be nice as I got more information on this now. We're going to be talking about Batman, so the Arkham series to be more specific, not Pacific. So Batman Arkham games, basically. So we're going to start off with Batman Arkham Asylum, to Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Origins, and then finally the one that's going to be released, which will be the final one in the series, Batman Arkham Knight, which will come out this month. I believe it's like June the 20th or something like that. It hasn't really said anything about when it's going to be released, but I believe it's going to be released. It's going to be released this month anyway. So here we go. So what I'm going to basically do is I'm going to read the main plot or the main storylines of the games, and I'm then going to rate how out so many stars, like 10, about how I think of the game. So first of all, we'll start off with the original one. So Batman Arkham Asylum. So just to get so obviously this is mainly for Zach if he wants if he's interested in this. Zach basically I rebought Batman Arkham Asylum, which is kind of awesome. I bought it back yesterday. I'm playing through it again because I love it. It's literally the countdown to Batman, I'm going to call it, where I play all of the old games, and then by the time the new one comes out, I'll be able to play it because I will have the console soon, the Xbox One. So yeah, but let's get into it. Batman Arkham Asylum. So it's the first game in the series. So basically, the whole storyline is that Batman captures Joker as he normally does, and he throws him into an asylum within Arkham, which is the city that they've created, obviously within the Batman universe. So Batman's put him in there, and it doesn't, and it looks all right at the start, but it realised that in the actual thing, so this is the plot. So instead of me like giving my own opinion on it, I thought I'd read it out for you guys so it looks better, if that makes sense, like it sounds better. So here we go. So this is the plot I found out on the website. So after the Joker assaults Gotham City Hall, he is caught by Batman and taken to Arkham Asylum, which temporarily houses many members of Joker's gang crew who were transferred after a fire at Blackgate Prison. So the Joker allowed himself to be captured by Batman, who accompanies him to the asylum. Joker's plan is revealed as Harley Quinn takes control of the security system, and Joker escapes within the facility, aided by a corrupt guard who kidnaps Commissioner Gordon, aka, for those of you who are diehard Batman gamer fans, you would know him as Frank Bowles. So the Joker threatens to detonate bombs hidden around Gotham City if anybody tries to step foot on Arkham Asylum on the island, forcing Batman to work alone, but obviously Batman knows deep down that it's a lie, it's just a diversion to keep them away. So you eventually go through many things. You see old enemies, new friends and stuff like that. So you see people like Killer Croc, Harlequin, Joker, who else is on there? I'm trying to think of other people that's on there. The Riddler, there's loads of decent people, like villain-wise, on there. Mr. Zaz, as he was called in the comics, but Dr. Zaz or whatever you want to call him. And it's just so amazing about how it's like that. And basically that's all the main characters. So basically you go through the ups and downs of the game, saving many people. You find out certain stuff about Titan, which is a thing that Joker's created, a powerful substance, I should say, which can turn normal humans into like massive bodybuilding steroid freak monsters, sort of thing that Bane has with his venom, but it's just called Titan. But unlike the venom, Titan can store itself, so it doesn't need backup supply like Bane's tanks does to make him the big monster he is. So it reveals that Joker's behind it, with a doctor helping her by the name of Penelope Young. She later eventually dies. Spoiler alert. In the game, and then since then you try and go through many things, and you work out certain things like Riddler clues and stuff like that. Basically, it all leads up to the big main event, as Joker calls it within the game, where you fight Joker, where he's put himself on that Titan. He looks like a freak. So basically, you then have to fight him, battle him. Once you battle him, you'll complete the game, and then they give you a sort of plot storyline ending scenario that they are making a second one. So that's pretty much the first Batman game. So out of 10, I would give this game a 9, simply due to the fact not every game is perfect, but it won so many awards, such as Game of the Year, and the most critically acclaimed superhero game ever, which is amazing. So it won many awards. It won over 5 awards for it. For its combat system, for literally everything it was worth. So yeah, no, really good. I'm glad that I was able to play the game because it was great. So once I come back, I'm gonna have a break now, guys. Have a bit of a break. So once I come back, I will get into a bit more, not as in full detail as I just did with Arkham Asylum, but in a bit more detail with about Arkham City and Arkham Origins, and then how I feel about them 2 games, and then the lead up to Arkham Knight. So whilst I take a break, I'm going to leave you guys as always with a song. So what to choose for a song? You know what, I'm going to have to go with a Blur song this time. So I can't remember what the official title's called. I believe it's called Song 2 or something like that. So ladies and gentlemen, here it is. It's Blur.
Jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Please have me down. Down when I was young. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you.
Alright, hello guys, and welcome back to the second and final part of today's Gaming Cube podcast episode. Number 14. No, I was about to say 14. Number 15, sorry, I do apologise. So today, as I'm running out of time for stuff, I'm going to quickly run down about the Batman Arkham Asylum games and stuff like that. So basically, Arkham City, let's go straight into it. We're no wasting time here. So Arkham City basically is based on with the stuff about where Dr. Hugo Strange has created a super villain super prison, if that makes sense. A super prison for all the inmates, such as Penguin, Riddler, Joker, Mr. Freeze, loads of people. So this was made in like 2011, I think it was. Yeah, 2011. So like a year after the Batman release. So it's a great game, and obviously Mark Hamill wrote all of these games, the first two anyway. They're brilliant. So yeah. So basically here, they keep all of them together, and Batman has to figure his way out how Dr. Hugo Strange knows about his secret identity. Not many people know that, but obviously he does. So basically, it's Batman's job to not get found out what his true identity is. It obviously is Bruce Wayne. So basically, guys, the main plot of the storyline is that Batman's got to find a way to put an end to Dr. Hugo Strange among as many of his other what's the word I'm looking for? Many counterparts, so villains and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go too much detail because for those of you who never played it, I don't want to spoil much. I've already spoiled Arkham Asylum for you, but you have had 6 years to play it, guys, so I can say it. So basically, I'm not going to say much about Arkham City as it's a favourite. So basically, what the plot of the storyline is that, like I said, he's got to find his way to try and cure everybody in that thing, and he's got to defeat certain people like Joker, Clayface, Penguin, Mr. Freeze, and one of my favourites of all time from the comics, Ra's al Ghul. So yeah, very excited. Out of 10, I'd give that an 8. Not as good as Batman Arkham Asylum because it kind of loses its combat system, even though it's a little bit better, but I prefer the original combat system. And that the storyline is good, not as great, in my opinion, as it was for Batman Arkham Asylum. So, yeah, that was my opinion on that. Batman Arkham Origins, basically, that was just the originator of how Batman came to cross of being the Batman in the first place. I have played that game, but to be honest, for those of you who are looking to introduce what Batman's character's like, then it's a game for you. But for me, I didn't really get much entertainment from much out of it, really. So basically, it goes to show you how Batman got into being the Batman in the first place, how he met Commissioner Gordon and stuff like that, and how he first met Bane, how he first met Joker, stuff like that, really. So out of 10 for that one, I would give that one probably a 7, due to the fact that it's great. And the reason why it's high rated is because it's a Batman game, but it's just that because Mark Hamill at this point left the team for creative writing. I love the idea of the origin of Batman, but it wasn't worked out as well, in my opinion. It didn't. I don't think it won many awards. I don't think it won any awards, really, so you can see why. And obviously Batman Arkham Knight looks amazing. Scarecrow is now the main protagonist, simply due to the fact that, spoiler alert right here, guys, so you might want to cover your ears if you want to play Arkham Asylum in City. Joker dies in Arkham City because he's trying to get him the cure after his Titan collapsed from Arkham Asylum. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Batman thing. And that, overall, it's pretty much it for the Gaming Cube podcast. So thank you very much, guys, for listening to another edition of the Gaming Cube podcast. Sorry if it wasn't as entertaining as it normally is on the show. It's due to the fact that I haven't got Chris, Zach, or Simon here. It's usually a lot more fun when those three guys are here, or one of them are here. But hopefully you did enjoy me running down Batman for you lot. So until episode number 16. Thank you so much for listening to another edition of the Gaming Cube podcast. I've been your host, Tom Dallon, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.